In today's time, it is most important to read, write and speak in English. But many people not knows place from where to start their journey of learning English. So, there is a story to help you to start your English journey. Also with it you can practice and learn English. Welcome again to new story of your English learning journey. The story of Meera, finding her voice through English. Chapter 1. The Silent Girl. In a small town in Uttar Pradesh lived Meera, a bright 19-year-old girl. She loved literature, she loved stories. But there was a silence inside her that pained her deeply. In her classroom, when teachers asked questions in English, her eyes dropped to her notebook. She avoided speaking. She feared the laughter that would follow if she mispronounced a word. When her cousins from Delhi visited and spoke fluently in English, she stayed quiet in the corner, wishing she could join them. Her dream was to become a journalist. She wanted to tell stories that mattered. But deep down, she whispered to herself, "If I cannot speak English, who will even listen to my voice?" Chapter 2. The Day of Humiliation. One hot summer afternoon, a guest lecturer visited her college. After an inspiring speech, he asked for student questions. Meera wanted to ask something. Her heart beat faster. She raised her hand. Everyone looked at her. She stood up. She tried to speak in English. The words stumbled. The grammar broke. Halfway through, her classmates giggled. Her cheeks burned red. She sat down, humiliated. That night, she cried on her pillow. But in her tears was also a spark, a determination. She whispered, "One day, I will speak, and the world will listen." Chapter 3. The Mentor's Words. Life often sends teachers in disguise. For Meera, it was Mrs. Fernandez, her English professor. Seeing Meera's silence, she once said after class, "Meera, English is not a crown only for the rich. It's a tool, like a pen. You can learn it if you are willing to be patient." "But ma'am," Meera said softly, "I always fail." Everyone laughs. Mrs. Fernandez smiled. "Failures are proof you're trying. Do you know how a river cuts stone? Not by force, but by consistency." That evening, Meera wrote one line in her diary. "I will learn English, drop by drop, word by word, day by day." Chapter 4. The Beginning. Meera began small. Every morning, she read one article from the newspaper. At first, she understood little, but she kept a notebook where she wrote 5 new words daily. Every afternoon, she stood before her mirror and spoke one paragraph about her day, no matter how broken her sentences were. Every evening, she listened to English news on the radio. She barely understood at first, but slowly, her ears began catching phrases. She didn't wait for perfection. She just practiced. Chapter 5. The Fear of Speaking. The biggest hurdle was speaking in front of others. One day, Mrs. Fernandez announced a small activity. Students had to introduce themselves in English. Meera's hands shook, but she remembered her diary's promise. She stood up, trembling, and said, Good morning. My name is Meera. I like stories. I want to become journalist." It was simple, broken, imperfect, but she spoke. And that was the day she realized courage is not the absence of fear, but speaking despite it. Chapter 6. The Power of Writing. Meera began journaling in English every night. She wrote about her struggles, her dreams, her daily routine. At first, her grammar was poor, but over weeks, she saw improvement. One day, she wrote a short essay titled "Why Girls Should Dream." She showed it to Mrs. Fernandez, who marked corrections but also said, "You have a writer's soul. Don't let English stop your voice." That encouragement became fuel. Chapter 7. Friends in Practice. Meera found a small group of classmates who also wanted to learn English. They made a rule. For 15 minutes daily, they would only speak in English. They laughed at each other's mistakes, but never mocked. Slowly, their confidence grew together. Meera realized something profound. Learning is easier when you are not alone. Chapter 8. The Festival Speech. Months later, her college hosted a cultural festival. There was a debate competition. Mira's friends pushed her to participate. You can do it, they said. On stage, she was nervous. But she remembered her mirror practice, her late-night journaling, her daily listening. She spoke. Her grammar wasn't perfect. Her accent wasn't polished. But her confidence shined. The audience clapped. For the first time, Mira felt the power of her own voice. Chapter 9. The Internship Interview. After her final year, Mira applied for a journalism internship in Delhi. The interview was in English. She sat nervously in front of the panel. Tell us about yourself, they asked. Mira smiled. She spoke clearly. My name is Mira. I come from a small town, but I carry big dreams. I believe stories change the world. That is why I want to be a journalist, to give voice to those who are unheard. The panelists nodded with admiration. She got the internship. Chapter 10. The Transformation. In Delhi, Mira faced challenges. Fluent English speakers surrounded her. But instead of shrinking, she grew bolder. She kept reading books, listening to debates, speaking fearlessly, and writing daily. Months later, she reported her first story live on television in English. The girl who once cried in silence now spoke with confidence before thousands. Mira's final message. Years later, Mira returned to her town as a successful journalist. She gathered young students and told them her story. She said, English is not about being smart or rich. It is about being consistent. Read daily. Listen daily. Speak daily. Write daily. Do not fear mistakes. They are steps to growth. Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with passion. And as she spoke, the children's eyes shone with hope. Moral of the story. English is not a wall that separates the privileged from the poor. It is a bridge anyone can cross, step by step, with courage, patience, and practice. Similarly, you can also work on all areas of English on which you are finding difficulties. With this, that's all for this video. Subscribe to our channel to listen and read more amazing stories to practice and improve your English. Thank you.